Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Action Figure Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars 2014 Mission Series Utapau featuring Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous. Here's a look at the packaging. So these new figures just came out. From what I understand, they are just starting to hit retail. I ordered these on Amazon at the end of last week and they came in. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but you know, if I look at these two figures within the scope that you know, they're kind of targeted toward a different audience and targeted toward a specific price point, then it's a little easier for me to let up on them and not look at them too objectively, considering past releases of these two characters. With that being said, let's go ahead and start off with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan is a repack of the Wave 1 Saga Legends figures that came out last year. From what I can tell, he looks to be about the same. I don't have the original release to compare him to because I actually knew that this set was going to be coming out when Hasbro announced it some time ago. And, you know, I thought I'd hold off, you know, save $6. And so, I mean, as far as I can tell, he looks pretty similar. There may be some differences in the coloring or the paint thing, but, you know, it's the same sculpt. Close up there of the head for you. You know, I think this is probably one of the better figures in the Saga Legends and Mission Series lines. I think it looks, you know, decently good. The paint on my specific figure looks quite good as well. There's not a whole lot that stands out as, you know, being terrible or anything. I've always liked, you know, on these figures how Hasbro has kind of added texture to the robes just to give them a little bit more of a realistic look. Of course, that's pretty hindered by the sloppiness of the way they painted that belt right there. But, you know, it's not terribly bad. There's the belt from the front. No pegs for lightsaber or anything. But, you know, the robes are good. You know, the boots look quite good as well. The color looks like it matches the film quite well. You know, it's like a reddish brown, kind of like a mahogany type thing. And in the way of articulation, Obi-Wan has a swivel at the head, swivels at the shoulders, and swivels at the hips. He comes packed with his lightsaber, which as far as I can tell for the Saga Legends release, it looks like it may very well be a new sculpt. The paint is pretty minimal, but you know, at least there's a little bit of black on it, so that's cool. The blade is a very light blue blade color. I've also noticed that on these newer blades, it looks like Hasbro has been adding something like, I don't know if you can really pick it up here on camera, but it's something that's almost like a little bit of a sheen to it. It looks kind of like glitter. It's not glitter, but they're kind of giving the sabers, you know, just a little bit of a sheen. You can kind of see it right there in the light. You know, which is cool. I guess it adds a little bit more of that glimmer effect to make it more of a lightsaber to a very, very small degree. And Obi-Wan holds his lightsaber quite well. It's kind of bulbous there at the end, so it won't go straight in. I mean, he'll hold it, but it's not the best fit. It's easier if you kind of go in like that, let him hold it from the middle, but, you know, he holds it out at an angle as a result. In case you are wondering, Obi-Wan does not fit into his Jedi Starfighter that was released last year. This is a miniaturized version of the Jedi Starfighter, and unfortunately he just doesn't fit in there very well at all, actually. His legs may be a little bit too long, but if you try and go in like that, you know, there's just not enough room. And if you try going in like this, you might be able to force his legs in, but as you can see, it's going to cause him to bend, and, you know, I'd be concerned about breaking it. So, very strange that they would release a new Obi-Wan with an accompanying Starfighter in the same year, and not being able to get them to be compatible. Very odd. Alright, and now we have General Grievous. This is the first General Grievous we've gotten in these more lower end lines of Star Wars figures targeted at a younger audience. I'm a huge fan of General Grievous. I know a lot of people have issues with him, you know, in the character. I like General Grievous ever since, you know, saw him in Revenge of the Sith. I've always liked the character. I'm not sure exactly why. I just thought he's always been kind of cool. He stands very well on his own, and I think I think that's mostly due to his limited articulation. His silhouette and, you know, his posture, I think it's really good. I think they did a pretty great job with him. Of course, you're not going to get the level of detail that we had with previous releases of this figure, at least some of them. But give you a look here. there's still a good amount of detail that they sculpted into him. So that's pretty cool. Luckily with Grievous, you don't need a whole lot of paint. Just giving him the two layers of the more skeletal ivory color and then the gunmetal gray, it really works for this particular figure. My biggest issue with him is probably the eyes. It just looks a little weird. He looks kind of like he looks drunk or tired or something. I think if they improve the eyes a bit more, I'd probably like him a whole lot more. But as he stands, I actually kind of like him. For the most part, I think he turned out pretty good, especially when compared to some of the other offerings in this lineup. In the way of articulation, Grievous has a swivel at the neck, and you can see the whole thing swiveling at once. He has swivels at the shoulders, and he has swivels at the hips, and that's all you get with this Grievous. So he may very well be the least articulated Grievous ever released. In general, Grievous comes with two lightsabers that he holds very handsomely. As you can see, they're kind of angled, toward his right because that's just due to the way that the hands are sculpted. They're just kind of sculpted in a way that, allows him or forces him to do that. It's not too bad. I think it adds maybe a little bit more character than if they were just, straight on. As far as the lightsabers themselves, he holds them very well. They slide into his hands, which I find to be sculpted pretty much perfectly to hold those lightsabers. You can raise them, as you wish. And, it's always nice when these figures can do that. The hilts themselves, these both look like they are new sculpts, but, of course we have seen lightsabers like these before. This is a Shock T style hilt, and then this one here is more of the Ki-Adi Mundi / Aayla Secura Episode 3 style hilt. And the blades are very dull blue and green coloring. Not nearly as vibrant as what we've seen with some of the blades in the past, which I tend to prefer better. This is almost like a sea green kind of green, and that's like a very pastel blue kind of thing. And these two also have that shimmer effect that I showed you with the Obi-Wan lightsaber, essentially the same exact kind of thing. Just to give you an idea here of scale, the new Mission Series Grievous is actually quite tall. If you compare him to the Legacy Collection version from several years back, he's about the same size. Now, granted, the Mission Series Grievous is a heck of a lot easier to stand. If you look at the Legacy one, I have to have him in a really crazy looking pose since he has no rotations at the knees. He kind of looks a little bit ridiculous, despite all the great detail that this Legacy Grievous has. As far as playability and ease of working with, Mission Series Grievous is a heck of a lot easier to use. All right, ladies and gents, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars 2014 Mission Series Utapau set featuring Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous. I think this is a pretty nice set. This is probably one of the better ones that has come out of Hasbro so far. Obi-Wan's one of the better figures in the Saga Legends / Mission Series. And General Grievous also, I'd say, is one of the better ones. They are aimed at a different caliber of audience. They are targeting a different price point. So if you can keep that in mind and try not to look at them too objectively, considering the awesome releases we've gotten in the past of both of these figures, then, I think you'll like them quite a bit. This set was $10.99 on Amazon, which at this day and age is a heck of a bargain. So I'm really happy with how easy Grievous is to stand and to pose with his lightsabers, and it's a pretty fun set. It's a pretty fun set, and for what it is, I enjoy it quite a bit. Thanks for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.